Hello everyone, Strangers123 here today with yet another replay cast. This time a game in my Taihou. I am on the map Trap with a division Terkana Arcade Udalai Missouri tier 9. It's a tier 10 game but not really heavy. 1 tier 10 per team, Z52, that's it. Also, I'm against an opposing Taihou. Both teams get Iowa Missouri at tier 9, so our top tiers, for all intents and purposes, tier 9 is basically the top tiers, are pretty much well balanced. 2 tier 9 destroyers, we get a Fletcher Udalai, they get Fletcher Benson. They, however, get an extra Hydro, but we get a better anti-aircraft and spam ability with Kiev Udalai. They get an Ognavai Z23, which have honestly quite weak guns. We get the Japayev, so that's a cruiser advantage for us, especially a radar advantage, since New Orleans will not be in a position to actually do anything useful with her radar without getting a smoke screen, but there's none in the division. And, well, in the meantime, we do. Anyway, starting this game off, I'm launching 2 torpedo bombers and 2 fighters, but before I get too far into this game, I would like you guys to comment on the audio levels of this video. I've bumped up the audio level of my microphone a little bit, so hopefully that will sound a bit better. After that, yeah, that's about it. If you think that the game audio now is becoming too low, please tell me. If you have any other audio complaints, please tell me as well, because I am basically pretty much spiking out my current audio, well, my microphone, so it's already in the red zone, so I don't really like that, but if the audio quality and sound is fine and the volume is fine, then I guess I'll keep it as such. Anyways, opening up the game, I'll launch 2 torpedo bombers and 2 fighters into the middle. The enemy gets 2 fighters and, well, 2 torpedo bombers, then the fighters following up. I'm deciding to send my torpedo bombers a little bit further north, and my fighters a litsion bit south, since that's where my division mate in the other line is, and where enemy destroyers typically are found. And I find 2 enemy destroyers. The Z52 decides he's going to smoke. Arcus opens fire in that general direction, but I don't really want to stick around that smoke or the area, because, hey, I already lost the plane. Which is kind of unfortunate. Anyways, I'm sending both of my fighters down the south, and I'm sending basically all of my strike wings up north. And, well, the reason this matters is because, well, if I can bait his fighters to go down south, and in the meantime, maybe even spot what's capturing Alpha right now, of which I'm not even sure, then that could be definitely nice for me. Anyways, I see that the enemy's fighter that came out here didn't really seem to be paying too much attention, so I'm going to go for the tag, and if he decides to strafe disengage out of that, and I'm paying good attention to that, then I will be able to basically get a much more free of a win of this. Anyways, the enemy strike is up north, and I'm pretty much going to get a free fighter, unless the Ognavai does decide to intervene with a defensive anti-aircraft and start picking apart my planes. Anyways, I get the fighters for 2 lost to the enemy carriers plus Ognavai group, so that's definitely in my favor. 5 lost for 5 kills for 3 lost. However, the enemy's other fighter was up north, and I didn't really want to loiter around because my fighters were both down south. I'm sending one squad back home and the other one to back towards, well, I should be sending it north shortly. This was, by the way, a game on my stream. Anyways, my torpedo bombers are heading around towards the middle area, and I did look for some torpedoes from the Fletcher. Setting up my torpedo bombers to try to get a decent attack on this Z23. My dive bombers, I also attack, just trying to get maybe an engine or rudder crit to force him to damacon that. Unfortunately, that was going to be a way too close drop with my number 5, but I dropped my number 4 slightly on a poor rear angle. And now I'm doing something interesting. I'm ordering my number 4 to fly past so it doesn't get strafed the Scheiße. Pick up 1 torpedo bomber hit, and the enemy fighter is now kind of just sat there and latched. If he wanted to be a dick, he could strafe disengage right now and wipe out my torpedo bomber squadron. Of course, at the cost of his fighter, so that would definitely be his decision to make. Hydro from the friendly Z52 or something picks up the Z23, he floods and goes down. If both of them were using Hydro, then that's a engagement in my favor, as the anti-aircraft helps me wipe out the enemy squadron. Right now, I'm just thinking there's torpedoes coming, there's destroyers over here, we've got a Udalai sitting in the smoke screen, so I'm going to try to spot as many torpedoes in the area as I possibly can right now. Maybe the Z52 Hydro would actually be in range. Doing another pass over the area, my planes are now spotted, so I don't really want to loiter around, but I don't think there's anything inside of that smoke screen either. We're currently capturing the flag, yep, we're capturing it. So I'm just going to keep my fighter around, my second one is coming along. My ship was heading a little bit south right now, landing the planes, and I think I'm going to bring my ship further north, but I'd like to launch my torpedo bombers and dive bombers into the air forwards towards the middle of the map, just to save myself a little bit of time, before then making a move on, well, maybe trying to find something. But the enemy team are, well, have a look at them. 2 dead, 1 carrier, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's everything going there. Anyways, now I'm just trying to bait this enemy fighter into coming along because I have Japaev, Missouri, Iowa in the area, and right now I should try to tag it, but he realizes anti-aircraft is around. He's probably heard, like, Group 2, under attack, and pulls them back. And now we're just basically playing the fighter game. I'm waiting for my strike to come up in the air, and as you can see, I'm doing a decent headwind launch there just to get them back into the air faster. Also had a decent recovery, so that might have just saved me 25-30 seconds of time. Pretty fitting to be talking about right now, since I did a video yesterday detailing, well, how carrier movement lost me a potential game, well, and shit drops, but carrier movement could potentially have allowed me just that last little bit of, I guess you could say that crutch to actually, you know, pull through and get through it. Do a bit of an awkward 3-plane strafe against that, don't manage to kill anything, but hey, I do another awkward strafe and pick up 2 from his torpedo bombers. And the anti-aircraft basically farms all of that. So now I'm just going to tag this fighter with my advantageous one. And I didn't actually realize that my other squad was out of ammo. If the other squad was not out of ammo, I could maybe have done something with it. And with my fighters over here in the engagement, I guess you can say I make a mistake. I could have disengaged and helped Arcas. But instead, I decide I'm going to deal with this. Arcas doesn't, you know, well, I definitely should have because of the anti-aircraft of the Missouri, and by the time I realized the Missouri was around, it was already too late for my planes. If I had disengaged and helped my well, my division mate, who I don't think actually took, he might have taken 1, which was definitely a mistake on my end, I guess you can say. Anyways, selecting my dive bombers, holding down Alt, you can see that he's not actually auto-attacking, he's strafing. He gets a lot more planes than he should have, in my opinion. Well, actually, no, he got 1 more than he realistically should have. And again, I'm just baiting him because I know that my friendly anti-aircraft is in range and that Iowa seems to have a full AA build. And there you go, I was holding down Alt to see what's up with his attack. Is he trying to strafe? Is he trying to not strafe? What's he doing? My fighters are all on the ship, waiting for them to get back into the air. In the meantime, I've got my dive bombers and torpedo bombers going for this isolated Iowa down here. In the meantime, the enemy Taihou has been spotted by our Benson, so he's going to be the primary focus, and I'm not in a position to actually be able to support him right now. Going in with my dive bombers against this Iowa, he's launching a float plane fighter, but it's going to be way too late. It takes 10 seconds to get it into the air, and then it needs to get back to chase my planes. 4 bomb hits, 1 fire out of the, well, only 1 actually died after it dropped at that point. He did notice the planes were coming in, so yeah. And now he should be focusing on my incoming torpedo bombers, unless he's still clicked on that. I highly doubt it, however. In the meantime, well, I'm just using that plane to absorb some float plane fire. And now my AA is basically, well, his AA is fully focused on my torpedo bombers. And I can pull that dive bomber back, because there is absolutely no need whatsoever to keep it there. The drop was a little bit too close, but in my opinion, if I dropped it any farther than that, or circled any farther, I would have lost more planes. So 6 out of 8 is fine enough. Well, I actually hit all 8, but 2 of them just did not arm. This float plane fighter is tagging, and this fighter is going for my full HP squadron, so props to him. I'm just trying to split them up a little bit so he doesn't get a chance to strafe away that as well, so at least one of these planes is going to make it home. Because once they gain enough distance, that fighter simply cannot catch up to the other one. However, he's right now busy with this, and my fighters, they just, you know, they're not here on time. So the Benson takes a torpedo hit, and I spot the Fletcher coming in as well. He's engaging this low HP Benson. He just needs to run into the smoke screen and sit inside of it. And then re-engage this. In the meantime, I'll keep my fighters on top of that Fletcher so that the rest of my team that's in the Bravo cap is able to lay waste on his health bar or straddle and miss and kill all the fish next to him. And again, I'm moving my ship further up in this direction because our entire team is blobbed inside there. Erdalai kind of, my division mate, kind of tried to see if he can't do anything. Both the Iowa and the Octomai were kind of heading back, and now it's just blob versus blob, which is kind of boring. Our destroyers are trying to make a little bit of a play. We've got the flanks securely covered, and the enemy team has... Let me check. Unos, dos, tres, 3 battleship. This is the division inside 1 square of the map. 1 battleship right behind, basically 1 postcode behind these guys. Zed trying to make a play. He now gets spotted. And I should be moving this fighter a little bit down there just to see, but I know the Fletcher's fired his torpedoes, so, well, he's fired 1 set at least, so I'm not expecting him to do much. Sending one fighter down there just to see what's up. I don't want to loiter it because of anti-air. And the second one is just loitering ahead of here. Now sending it, now that I realize that Zed is there, I send it a little bit ahead just to see if I can't scout for torpedoes. But I see the Missouri, and I don't really want to hang around there too much. Both teams have kind of been sending, both carriers have kind of been using fighters to try to do spotting, and there you go, torpedoes from the Fletcher and dive bombers. I don't really want to hang around there, again, because of this thing called anti-air from down there. And his fighters are up. Hopefully the Fletcher will die to, I don't know, Zed or Benson, and Zed does manage to pick up the kill, and he's not going to get torpedoed there, which is extremely handy as well. In the meantime, I've got my fighter over here. I see that the Zed's not a complete idiot. He's sitting inside the smoke screen, and I've got some AA from Turpet, some AA from Zed, so I'm deciding I'm just going to tag this. These two dive bombers going for the Benson. There's nothing I can really do about this, because I want, in this kind of a situation, in my opinion, the faster I can get rid of the enemy fighters, I'm thinking, should I go for that? No, I'm not. I'm going to tag this, kill this off. The faster I can kill off his fighters, the better of an advantage I'll have in the late game. And now I see that his fighters are coming in, so I get mine moving out of the way, and this one to try to get around the side, but for some reason he does actually manage to get a lot of damage on that. Bit unfortunate. But I've got my strike wings airborne now, and his fighters are now faffing around doing nothing. Hopefully this stupid-ass fighter can vanish faster, so I can actually go and do something useful, like kill his torpedo bombers. But he's kind of flying past, and just to pause this right now, guessing a mistake on my end, I should have... well, I could potentially have disengaged that to get this. I was hoping this plane would die a little bit earlier, so I could disengage and do something about that. But that was not the case, which is a bit unfortunate. I should also have selected my 7 and 8 squadrons and just auto-attack this Missouri, or, placed a drop like here, and then just gone in and seen what's up with my fighters. However, my primary focus is now on this Missouri. I'm going in with the manual drop. Honestly, these dive bombers are a waste. I should have focused on this, waited for this guy to move in a little bit better. And now, the carrier is making a drop, and again, he's moving one away from the other. Meh. And this is kind of what I'm looking at right now. I'm looking to see if I can't get a bit of a strafe on the other squadron, not the one I was auto-attacking. And the strafe actually goes quite well, but I flew quite heavily into the anti-aircraft, so I might lose a couple of planes on the way out. I hope I don't. But I pick up a couple of kills on him. The enemy carrier is, by the way, flying 2-2-2. So he's got a replacement advantage over my fighters. So I do actually need to be careful, despite the fact that this Iowa has done a great job to assist with my fighters. And unfortunately, his Missouri has already gone down. But my job right now is to take out this Missouri as best as I can to help this guy survive this, with as much health left as possible. And I do. Enemy Missouri goes down, but me now having moved my ship up in this direction and just parked it behind that island. Now I just need to get it moving further up because I might have another light coming up my tail sometime soon as well, and I don't really want to get caught by him. Anyways, realizing that I've killed mostly enemy fighters, and the Iowa and AA group in the middle of the map has killed a bunch of fighters as well, I saw the light goes in to smoke this, and we're screaming at him on stream. This was on stream, by the way. We're screaming at him like, dude, just get out of there. All we need to do is run. In the meantime, I need to protect this Zed. The Benson's already gone down. I just need to protect this Zed from dying to the enemy aircraft carrier. And I need to try, if possible, to just keep the middle area under enough control and try to do as much damage as I can. Because now they've got this big-ass blob going in. Unfortunately, Z-52 torpedoes, they don't look that good on the Alabama. And it's a fucking Alabama. It's got 50% fucking torpedo bulge. They don't take that much torpedo damage. And then you can see, he does take 2 of them, I think. So, he does lose a little bit of health. Skills passing on through there as well. Don't think it's going to do too much more. However, Cloud makes a bit of an unfortunate turn. He probably wants to shoot his guns to engage Alabama. In the meantime, we have a top kick smoke just sat there. So he takes another torpedo. Unfortunately, it didn't cause any flooding. But I do have my 2 dive bombers in the vicinity as I get spotted by this floatplane fighter. Not a major problem though, because these guys can't actually shoot through this big-ass island to hit me. And the other light is not really close enough. So now I'm just going, alright, this guy, Damacon, flooding. We just need to go in, and you can see he's on fire in the rear section, the middle section. So I just need to drop the bombs on the front section and get a fire in the front. If you look at it, you think, like, dude, Stranger, what kind of a shit drop is that? The pure intention of that, mind you, was just to get the fire in the front, because he's Damacon. Anyways, they're now entering the cap behind us, which basically tells me I need to send my torpedo bombers to go and make flatbread out of the Udalite. In the meantime, I'm sending my fighters down there. I should have placed, that was a really, really poor strafing. I should have placed it like, let's pause this. Oops. Can I actually, I don't think I can actually give, I can't. I should have placed the strafing like, kind of like this. Instead of like this kind of an angle that I put, I should have put it like this. Then I could maybe have killed this, you know, the rest of this in conjunction with this Iowa's anti-air. But, well, unfortunately, he does get to drop 2 torpedoes, but he's kind of failed one of them. If he didn't, this Iowa would have just outright died to that. Hopefully, he has a damage control, but he doesn't look like it. That's really unfortunate. We do lose our Iowa. Anyways, my focus now is on this Ogdenvai that's coming up my tail. I do a bit of an awkward split. I got 4 there, 5 there, and 6 doing middle of nowhere. But Cloud burns down, and I get that torpedo bomber drop, however. So I'm thinking, like, yeah, I think I got him there. Did a bit of replay desync. It looked like he was turning away, so I do the second drop as well. It was completely unnecessary because the guy, he didn't manage to mash his R button fast enough, so he goes down as well. I'm basically running out of fighters now, which is a bit unfortunate, but I know that at this point the enemy carrier doesn't have any fighters either. So I have a huge advantage right now because I did manage to keep onto some of my fighters, and I can make attacks pretty much wherever the hell I want because I have the aircraft required to do so. Unfortunately, no more dive bombers, but it's tier 8 battleships plus a carrier. I'm never going to get to attack this carrier, plus attacking him right now would just be a waste of time, especially with only 1 dive bomber. He's just going to trigger defensive, and there's not much I can do about it. Plus, I don't know if he's AA spec or not, so again, it's just a waste of my time. In the meantime, 2 enemy battleships in the middle, 1 reasonably low, North Carolina, 1 decently held Tirpitz. We've killed the Ogdenvai, so, and the enemy carrier, like I said, is deep of fighters right now, and he's 222. So his total torpedo bomber count is a lot less, but 2 torpedo bombers is more than enough to kill an Udalai or a Z if he gets the drops. He will need to get 2 hits on the Z to kill him. However, Udalai takes pretty much 1. He is gone. Here comes the enemy dive bombers. I've been a lot more aggressive with my dive bombers. I've pretty much just been throwing them away. Order the dive bomber drop on the Tirpitz just to make sure my fighters don't take any AA damage. Get 1 fire on him, and I think he's going to let it tick. The smart thing there is to let him tick in case of incoming torpedoes. Udalai decides he's going to borrow the enemy Ogdenvai smoke screen as I pick up my high caliber, and there's a big block of cross drops coming in. In my opinion, Zed makes a little bit of a mistake, if I can get my camera. He fires both of his torpedoes on a complete course, like, despite knowing that all of us are trying to attack. He should honestly have made a spread like this, and if he made a bit of a spread, he probably would have been able to pick up a bit more damage on this. Anyways, my number 2 fighter is doing a strafe, that's my number 3 is doing some weird shit, so I pull my torpedo bombers out of the way to avoid the strafing. Unfortunately, 1 fighter there goes down to Tirpitz anti-aircraft. I should have had my torpedo bombers closer to make sure he focuses this, not my fighters. Another strafing kills another plane. Really, really awkward. Back to my normal carrier, my actual player view. My torpedo bombers are still pretty much intact, and I'm just pulling them along, dropping in the attack. Unfortunately, 1 goes down, but it's not really going to matter. Carrier does a bit of an awkward drop, and the Tirpitz is busy dodging, so hopefully he doesn't have the full time to aim. The last one, 4,000 damage, just doesn't get enough damage to get me the kill, so no cracking off this Tirpitz, and those torpedoes going in are going to miss. Arcas decides he's going to open fire, and I'm like, dude, why are you firing? Why? You could die to shells. Anyways, he does manage to pick up the Tirpitz, and the Tirpitz misses. North Carolina gets a salvo off from somewhere down there, and spotted over the island, but, oh, nah, it fell half a postcode short, so, he gets that through. Thinking, when I was playing this game on stream, like, when this is no more stock CV, I was like, his fighters were upgraded, his torpedo bombers were upgraded, his shit was upgraded, but now, in hindsight, I realized he was actually flying 222. And there you go, 1 last torpedo bomber coming in, North Carolina down there. Pretty much had to attack this Tirpitz, since our guys weren't able to get through him. Amazing strafing, 1 plane strafing doesn't do shit. So now I'm just going to auto attack him. And poof! Ray gunners! Comrade! RNG! Screw you! So that feels good, man. Losing to freaking rear gunners. And he gets the drop off because rear gunners murdered my last remaining fighter on that squadron, so I didn't get to panic him. Although arguably panicking him there could have actually made it easier for him to drop on Arcas, so meh, it turned out to work just fine. Having a look at the post-battle results screens, 214,524 damage, 24 torpedo bomber hits, and 7 floodings. 17 dive bomber hits, 5 fires, and I think I got like 11 bombs for 2 fires on the Missouri earlier, so that's something weird like that. No, wait, I can't get 11 bombs. I don't. It's not how I could get. Like 8 bombs or something weird on the Missouri. A lot of bomb hits for 2 fires and I think 11k damage. So that's where a good chunk of those bomber hits for no fire came from. Overall, quite okay damage. I did pick up 2 of their destroyers. If I'd gone for the North Carolina and just sank the North Carolina, I don't think he was that good of a player considering his positions. I could probably have picked up a my Kraken, but it didn't really matter. I think I got my Kraken in some other game, so I don't really care. But hey, more kills for the fire, flooding, event thingy, majiggy, something, elements, crap. 29 planes shot down. Most of my, some of my focus was just trying to get rid of enemy fighters so we can play the late game. Trying to spot torpedoes in the central areas just because there are so many destroyers. My team definitely had the map control advantage over our opponents. They just, well, I guess you can say they're NA lul. They were trying to get 12 ships into one map square, and they damn right nearly succeeded, if it wasn't for the fact that we had killed some of the ships, but they all sent their stuff down to A, and had absolutely nowhere to go. We held B for so long, despite losing a lot of our ships, in fact losing all of our heavier surface combat fleet. We were still able to hold on, simply due to the fact that we had points advantage. Anyways, moving on to the team score, 2026 base XP for me, the Z52 picking up 2,354, beating me. He does manage to pick up 4 plane kills, so do kind of appreciate him inside of the smoke screen, having his AA turned on. Getting rid of the fighters faster is always nice. You know, definitely helps the team out with him helping me get rid of stuff, so I can help him get rid of stuff later on. The enemy carrier, despite being 2-2-2 and therefore having more fighters, he got deplaned before me. Thanks a lot to our Iowa, 25 planes shot down on his end. Unfortunately, well, our tier 9 battleship fleet died in the middle of the map. I guess you could say, weren't really in the world's best positions. Iowas don't really handle things shooting at them too well for prolonged periods of time, despite the enemies basically being in front of them. DSL report screen picked up 46 torpedoes spotted, just having a look at the team play section first. 66,000 damage upon spotting, basically a tier 8 battleships in health. Not really that important. Don't know how much of that spotting damage was against destroyers or not, but having some of the torpedoes spotted by the fighters is, well, at least the more important torpedoes spotted is definitely nice. Thought I would have picked up a few more than just 46, but I guess Z52's Hydro definitely helped there. And along with potentially other planes. Also strafed away 1 Iowa plane, but that's no real biggie. I lost a lot of my airplanes in the process, but most of my plane kills were enemy fighters, 16 of them. And I think like only 4 or 5 of the enemy's torpedo bombers were shot down before they actually got the drop. And that's the thing about Taihou. You don't really have the most durable fighters, you don't really have the most ammo on the fighters, so you do have this problem that if you do go for the enemy fighters, you do run out of ammo, and you can't really get rid of enemy torpedo bombers. But when it really mattered, the enemy carrier didn't have any fighters to stop me, so I could go around and do whatever, and he really would have difficulties getting stuff through me. Even though I only had like 4 fighters separated of a 3-plane and a 1-plane squadron. And, well, he was 2-2-2, so he really wouldn't have the upfront striking power, but if he was 2-3-2, then he would have run out of fighters even earlier, and therefore I would have had an even bigger advantage. Quickly, credits and experience, 193,232 credits. Profit, running full consumables, try hard stuff anyways, so meh, not really the world's most important screenshot to show you. And I'm not really going for Captain XP because I have a good enough Captain, but hey, maybe if you were interested, you can get to see it. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this replay cast. I hope my audio volume sounds fine. If you have any comments, suggestions, or complaints regarding my current audio levels, if you think, for example, game volume is too low, or my volume is too high, my microphone, or whatever, please throw your suggestions, comments, criticism in the comments section below. I hope you guys had a great Easter, and I will see you guys in the next one.